What's up, everybody? Ryan Chapman, Randall Sweet here at Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati for AllSooners.com. John Hoover's here as well. He's up in the press box. He's hammering away. There's so much work, so much content coming to AllSooners.com. He could not join us here to wrap up what was a Big 12 opener for the University of Cincinnati, the 2023 Big 12 opener, the final Big 12 opener for Oklahoma. Randall, the Sooners take care of business 20-6. It was touch and go a little offensively at times. That Cincy defensive line is exactly what everyone said it was coming in. But here's where I want to start. We said it's the Big 12 opener for Oklahoma, but it is the conference curtain raiser for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Randall, we expected a huge atmosphere. Scott Satterfield, all the way back at Big 12 Media Days in July, was talking about how excited everyone around here in Cincinnati was for this contest. Up in the press box, it sounded like it was rocking. It looked like an absolute rabid atmosphere trying to be so welcoming for the Sooners coming into Nippert.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, it was loud down here. I mean, when we were in the end zone, shooting the game, the student section chants were deafening. I mean, it sounded like this place had at least double of what the actual head count was in here. It sounded like an OU game, and I was really impressed. It was a very fun place to watch a college football game. The fans here, they did a great job of, like you said, not making a welcoming environment for the Sooners. They made them known very early that they were the enemies, as a fan base should. When OU did their armed interlocked walk from, I think, the 20-yard line to the end zone that they do before every game, Cincinnati fans gave them a showering of boos. And throughout the game, really until the fourth quarter when the game was kind of out of hand, the environment was super loud, really lively, and a lot of fun. A great place to watch a college football game.
Cincinnati band is electric. I know Oklahoma, this is your only chance to get out here. For whatever reason, if there are any other Big 12 people watching our AllSooners.com wraps, get out here, Nippert electric. But the Cincinnati Bearcat faithful did not have a ton to cheer about offensively, Randall, and that was in large part due to what the Oklahoma defense did. We asked the questions all non-conference long. Eye test, it looks better. Is it better? Randall, Oklahoma holds Cincinnati to a combined 4 of 19 on third and fourth downs. Linebackers flying all over the field. The 6 points, a pair of field goals. Cincinnati did not make it into the end zone. I don't know what more you could have asked for from this defensive performance because it kept Oklahoma in the game when the offense was sputtering at times in the first and third quarters.
Yeah, and I mean, in addition to everything that you just mentioned, 2 more interceptions for that defense. They had 2 more takeaways. I think that's up to 8 interceptions on the season through 4 games is really impressive for a defense that we saw had trouble taking the ball away for a stretch of years prior to this. Additionally, the one thing that maybe you can harp on the defense was they did allow a few quarterback scrambles, but even then, we mentioned coming into this game that Emory Jones is a mobile quarterback. Some of that's to be expected. And I thought all in all, the OU defense did a really good job of corralling him. He didn't really get in rhythm passing, which is, what you have to do against the Cincinnati team. And against a team that averaged over 230 rushing yards a game, I think OU held them to under 150. They were under 100 going into the fourth quarter, so great game on the ground for OU's defense, and again through the air, they took the ball away twice.
161 on the ground. That was the rushing total for Cincinnati. Aided there, like you said, by a little bit there in the end. Emory Jones, his final stat line, 22 of 41 through the air for 235. And Randall, Brent Venables talked about this after the game. The defense talked about it after the game. I was talking with Deshaun McCull and Key Lawrence. They understand this was not a perfect display by any means. Brent Venables, he was asked dominant. What is it close to that? And he said if it's dominant, it's got to be close to perfect. That was not the case, but it was really, really dang good, got the job done. And like you mentioned, Key Lawrence got a pick in the first half. Billy Bowman eventually sent the student section pack in the second half on a tip drill. A big-time performance from the defense that kept an offense in the game that, frankly, at times they struggled. And I think that a lot of that was down to the defensive line play from Cincinnati. It didn't look like they corralled early. After the game, Jeff Lebby said there were inconsistencies across the board, whether that be Dylan Gabriel, the running backs, the offensive line. But in the end, Dylan Gabriel did finish 26 for 38 through the air, 322 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, but he did have a fumble. We saw the quarterback run game help him out, though. Here was the important thing, Randall. When Oklahoma needed it, they had a chance to go up 21-3 in the first half because the offense kept things going, and Cincinnati cuts it to 10-6. And just like we saw against SMU, 14-11, Oklahoma responds with 2 scoring drives, 10-6. The Sooners march down the field, 9 plays, 75 yards. 6 of those 9 plays were running plays. Marcus Major got going. Defense gets a 4th down stop. It was a field goal drive the next time, but Oklahoma marches down the field, milks about 4.5 minutes off the clock, and has another field goal to put Oklahoma up 20-6, and that's where that game ended.
Yeah, and you mentioned, Dylan Gabriel. He actually missed a wide open Jalil Farouk earlier in the game, which could have put even more points on the board for the Sooners. Which obviously, you don't like to see those missed opportunities, but the play was there, it was open, and that's something that you could easily fix. But all in all, I mean, OU's offense, like you said, they struggled to get going a little bit early in the game. That first drive of the Cincinnati student section maybe got to them. I think that was when the ball bounced off Dylan Gabriel's shoulder, and he had to throw it away. But as they settled in, like you said, it seemed like Dylan Gabriel and those receivers were really comfortable. I mean, we saw another touchdown from Nick Anderson. Andrew Anthony caught another bomb, which seems like it's a weekly occurrence at this point. And at times, Levy's offense looked like it was just throwing the ball all around the yard wherever they wanted to. And other drives, it was maybe not as easy looking, but I think all in all, the offense did pretty well. They just have some things to obviously improve on. When you only score 20 points, that goes without saying.
Anthony ends up 7 catches, 117 yards. The Michigan transfer making a huge impact. Jeff Levy wasn't very satisfied. He basically said the moment he's hopping on that bus, he'll have the iPad up, grinding that film to get that offense a lot better come 7 days from now when they're back in Norman taking on Iowa State. But the important thing, Oklahoma gets the win, moves to 4-0, opens Big 12 play. Perfect. It's just one game, but Brent Venables and the co did not do that last year. And we've got so much more to dive into from this contest. We're going to go upstairs to the press box, do our post-game pod. You can find that anywhere you get your podcast, or just head over to allsooners.com for all of our post-game videos. The live blog was up there as always. We had Hoove's game story, my 3 takeaways, a bunch of other content coming by the time this is up over at allsooners.com. It's the place to be the rest of Saturday, Sunday, all throughout the week. Next time we'll talk to you on camera will be the post-game pod, and then the Brent Venables press conference on Tuesday, leading you all the way in to Oklahoma and Iowa State back in Norman next Saturday. But that'll do it for now for this. I'm Ryan Chapman, that's Randall Sweet. John Hoover here as well, bouncing around somewhere. Head over to allsooners.com, everything you need, and we'll catch you in Norman next weekend.